for him to actually show working. You know? So he's, they call him a guy that always use, projects for politics. Because to them, they always present it as if to say they are doing you a big favor. You know, like we are doing you a favor. By the time we finish this, finish our mock, we'll see. You know, so you will vote for us so next time so that we can finish this job, okay? Please, you must remember that we are doing this now. For us to finish the job, you must vote for us, okay? So what the heck, man? Just do the job, you know? And at the end of the day, it is never going to be completed. And now that they demolished people's properties in Lagos and all that, for a coastal road that is never going to be built, ever. You know, I don't want to go into that again. So let's move to something else. So last night there is a clip. You know, El-Rufai is almost like a persona non grata in a state that he terrorized for 8 straight years. Unfortunately, or should I say fortunately, maybe, Diezani, the guy that he rigged in and foisted on the people of Kaduna as their governor, like a Fubara, ended up having to kind of like turn against him. It was on record that it was the same Diezani that facilitated the rejection of El-Rufai as a minister. Yeah, that's on record. And that's one of the reasons why they said they are not in talking terms or on talking terms, right? So yesterday, his own sellers found him in a place called, I think it's called Balewa Square or something, in Kaduna, a place he constructed when he was their governor, taking a stroll at night. you know, like if you're a politician, right, and you have governed a place for straight 8 years, you should have been like so familiarized with them enough that you don't need that much people protecting you from them, I think. I'm just saying anyway, but it is not out of place. So he was found in Kaduna yesterday and he was taking a walk. And then among those surrounding, it's one of the guys who make the recordings anyway to share with us that he's around. And currently, he is also spearheading the part of northern Nigeria that is disagreeing with Tinubu. Remember that somehow some Arewa believes that Tinubu is on a mission to divide Nigeria and decimate the influence of northern Nigeria. Yeah, there are some Arewas that believes that. Not only that they believe that Tinubu is out to make them poorer, which is not true. Bokwari made them even poorer, by the way. But yeah, that Tinubu is out to whittle down their influence and divide them, divide Nigeria. And that scares them a lot. Let me tell you that. Some of the actions of Tinubu, some of them are giving them serious concern. Let me give you some instances. When Tinubu and his gang decided to move the operational branch of the Central Bank of Nigeria down to Lagos, it actually really startled them a lot. Like, you know, then Tinubu announced that he's creating a university for the people of Southern Kaduna. That too rattled them as well. I don't know if you are aware of that. Now, the aviation school or something like that, aviation school that is situated in Kaduna or thereabout, Tinubu has now broken it into 6. Okay? So what that means is that all the expected courses that are being offered by that institution in the north are now being divided into 6 geopolitical zones now. So only one of them is now being offered in Kaduna also. And now they are opening 5 other branches across the 5 geopolitical zones. Another rumor that is also rattling them in the north right now is that Tinubu is planning or is already working on returning some of the armories that were relocated back to northern Nigeria. Are you aware that there used to be the Nigerian military, Nigerian Defense Armory in southern part of Nigeria, especially in Lagos, Abeokuta, and Oyo? But when Bokwari became your president, they moved them, all of them, to northern Nigeria. All of them. So now there is a rumor that Tinubu is working on returning majority of them. This time around, not even like, you know, do it the way it was done, where they put some in the north, some in the south. No, he's returning virtually almost all of them back to the south. And to them, Tinubu is actually weakening them in the north, and it's up to something. I mean, until it is confirmed, we can put it as a rumor. And I know kind of some of you who believes that, you know, Tinubu is their karma. The Mumu tickets that they thought will make them more dominant of others is now biting them, and it is their karma. But I don't know how to react to that anyway. But yeah. So they said, so far, the Arewa North, especially the Fulanese, right? The way they sort of restructured Nigeria to their own, in their own way. Somehow, it's like Tinubu is doing that same restructuring. It's like undoing majority of the things that they believe that they are now permanently done without making noise about it. It's like somebody pinching you, right? And they are smiling like that. And you are the one who is like, yay, yay. And people are like, what is wrong with you now? Say, I don't know, he's pinching me. I say, pinching you, but look, he's not doing anything to you. Why are you reacting like this? And that's exactly how some of you have been looking at them since, right? If you look at the way they have been throwing tantrums since this issue of a tax bill started, it has gotten some of you on the side of Tinubu, even though you have no idea that you are all going to be victims of it too, whether you are from the southern part of Nigeria or from the north. Like the noise that in northern Nigeria, the noise they are making, I sort of make some of you believe that maybe Tinubu is doing something right, and you are happy with that. You are like, yes, as long as these northern people are crying, I am okay with it. Tinubu must pass that tax law. That's exactly the way I see it, right? They are the ones screaming and crying, and people are like, why are they crying now? Why are you all screaming? What is wrong with these people? In fact, I support Tinubu on this. I say, yeah, please support him. I'm not doing anything. It's in your own interest. All these things that we are planning is for you. You know, when you remove subsidy, he sent their people to them and told them that it is for their own interest. When he removed the education subsidy, it's like it's in your own interest. We'll give you student loan. They say, yeah, okay. When you remove the electricity subsidy as well, they say, well, it is in your own interest, so that we can have a stable electricity. They say, okay. But somehow they can feel than others, because now everybody they feel more. But they can feel it more, and they are becoming so uncomfortable that they are telling themselves that Tinubu is going to be OTP, one-term president. Honestly, they are saying it. I'm talking about those who are supposed to be the APC, those ones who are singing and dancing the Mumu ticket, Muslim. Just say why back. Right now, it's like a bad market, buyer's remorse. You can call it buyer's remorse. So they said that Tinubu is trying to decimate them. Tinubu is trying to weaken them. Say, weaken you? What are you talking about? Like, what advantage has all of this? What advantage have you kind of like derived from all of this? There's no real direct benefit. It's just this sense of entitlement that makes them feel so powerful than others. I don't know. So, and there is going to be an extra 6 years. That they still have 6 more years to see what Tinubu has in stock for them, So they invited Wale Edun to the National Assembly to come and defend, to come and defend their subsidy removal and how much they have saved, right? And then the Wale Edun was like, he couldn't defend it, right? However, to save face, he quickly made a request for a closed door meeting. I can't say it publicly. Can I have a closed door meeting, please? So that I can explain it to all of you. He said, no. Tell us how much have you saved. All right. Like in figure. Don't pull number from the thing here. Like, don't just say any number. Give us something that we can verify, something we can check. So I'm going to ask for a closed door meeting. That's exactly. He got it. So they had to move to a closed door. And we never heard what they had to say after that. You know what I mean? So Tinubu and his gang are already telling people that they are getting ready to implement the tax reform law, even though it hasn't been passed. Some of these northerners are saying that they are not going to vote for it. But Tinubu is kind of like looking beyond them already. Like, we are looking beyond you passing it or not passing it, because to us it's already passed. We're just looking forward to implementing it. That's what is next. So that's part of what will make this year very, very interesting. I'm looking forward to it, though. And there is also a news that earlier today, UK government returned 52.8 or so million dollars, like they use dollars, okay? It should have been 52.8 million pounds, but they said this is the money that is sort of recovered from Diezani. You know Diezani? Alison Madikwe. Right, she's the former petroleum minister in Nigeria, and she's accused of stealing over $80 billion, which is not true. You can't even steal that much money from that contraption per se. Not like that. Anyway, but yeah, APC, Egbekebe pushed it. Okay? And there was a time they said that she returned $80 billion, which is also not true. But that was when propaganda was like on steroid in APC's Buhari's regime. Okay? But that doesn't mean that they didn't actually have a lot of confiscated, like, seized properties that they believe are proceeds of corruption, like blocks of flats in Ikoyi, yeah, like jewelries, golden bra, man, anyway. Here is someone speaking on that, or speaking to that, by the way.
I tried tonight to bring a very senior lawyer and someone who has prosecuted matters like this to give us an understanding of what this means. I have joining me tonight, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Mr. Wahab Shitu, who is live for us from our Lagos studio. It's good to have you tonight on the program, Mr. Shitu. I know you've prosecuted on behalf of the federal government for the EFCC on this kind of matter as a prosecutor, a lawyer who tried to dig down on issues of corruption in this nature. And this is a non-conviction based forfeiture, isn't it? What does this mean for Nigeria?
I think we must commend the United States of America, the U.S. government, and we must also salute the Tinubu administration, particularly the efforts being made by the current Attorney General, Mr. Latif, Prince Latif Fagbemi, in ensuring that this happens. It's a major boost for the anti-corruption war being spearheaded by the EFCC and the ICPC. We now know that criminals who take advantage of our collective commonwealth can no longer hide. And what the significance of this is the effective use of asset forfeiture tool to combat corruption. The idea is that when you are seen involving or engaging in corrupt practices, you are deprived of the proceeds of the crime. The idea is to strip you naked so that the crime, the incentive for committing the crime in the first place is taken away. Because the reason why, criminals perpetrate crimes is to be able to have access to illicit assets and illicit wealth. So the idea of the asset recovery and the consequent repatriation of such, assets is that these criminals are prevented from having access to this loot. And in Nigeria, for instance, by virtue of being a signatory to the United Nations Convention Against Corruption, as well as the Commonwealth Expert Group, the 2005 agreement, Nigeria is on signing with the international community to be able to take advantage of recovery of assets that are unlawfully taken away from Nigeria. In this specific case, we can identify two types of asset forfeiture. The first one is criminal forfeiture. One, when a defendant is taken through the trial process and eventually convicted, the proceeds of the crime is forfeited to the government. That is criminal forfeiture. The other route of forfeiture regime is the one that that is described as non-conviction-based forfeiture regime, in which case the defendant is never tried. The focus of the recovery is on the assets that is looted. So the defendant either maybe is dead or has taken flight or is unavailable, is not tried. But the state is interested in the recovery of the ill-gotten wealth arising from the crime through the mechanism of civil forfeiture. And this is what has played out here. It is not on record that Diezani has been tried, but the asset has been recovered from him. And now what you see play out today in the formal signing by the Attorney General is an asset agreement between the U.S. and Nigeria. The U.S. has recovered this asset, and they have agreed to also repatriate these assets back to Nigeria. And significantly, the way these assets are to be applied, the details of this, the application of these assets are contained in the agreement. One, to fund, through the World Bank, to fund the rural electrification project. This is going to be of beneficial impact to Nigeria.
Sorry, Jerry, I had to stop it there again, okay? Anyway, Sha, they said they're part of the arrangement they usually have with the countries where these repatriated funds, proceeds of corruption. The agreement they usually have with them is that they want to reinvest the money in infrastructure, electrification, sometimes education, healthcare, and stuff like that. They just kind of put that up so that when they release the money to them, it's going to go to America or UK, where we give you back the money, okay? The money is going to go into like funding developmental projects, not to be relooted. And Nigeria is a place where returned loot are always relooted by the active criminals that you have in that place. See, when America, for example, finally says, okay, out of the $10 billion they looted from your country this year, we are giving you back $150 million from it. The remaining, what do you call it, $9.8 billion will remain in the American system, operating there for years. Before they will now say, okay, you know what, we're going to return $500 million to you. That will be like after maybe 5, 6, 10 years. That's how they do it. Abacha's loot in America